Good morning, everybody. It's Jackie. Welcome to the stretch part of our abs and stretch class today. We're going to focus on hips, so I'd like you to come down onto the floor, make sure your space is clear, and we'll get started. So have a seat and make sure you have a little bit of room to move forward and back throughout our class. And I'm going to ask you to come up onto your knee, one leg forward, allow your shoulders to come down your back, and I want you to bring your hips forward. So you're stretching through the hip flexor, opening up through the hip complex, drop your shoulders down, take an inhale for me, and exhale, lift the arms up. So just a neutral gaze, head stacked right on top of your shoulders. And I want you to bring your awareness to your breathing. Take a nice deep breath in, and an exhale. See if you can deepen the lunge. And now, if it feels comfortable for you, lift your gaze and bring your thumbs back just a little bit of a mini back bend if that works for you. Soften through your arms, let your shoulders just drop down your back and press the hips forward. And as you breathe, just make sure you breathe all the way down to the base of your lungs. So your breath is not shallow, it's long. It allows the body to relax and go deeper into your stretch. Good job. Take your hands to your thighs, release the hips, shift backwards a little bit. Come forward again with your hips, and I want you to take your chest and set it on your thigh, and now tuck your chin. So it's going to feel a little bit different through the hips. Let your arms relax, let go of any tension that you have in the upper body. And our knees are directly over our ankles, they're not out past our toe. Two more deep breaths here. Inhale, and on your next exhale, lift the chest. Come back to just a kneeling position. And we're going to just do one more forward motion through the hips. This time we're going to twist. So I want you to place your hand on the floor and rotate your chest towards the screen. Rotating through your spine. So sometimes your shoulder can get caught up by your jawline or by your face. Relax it down your back. If you have shoulder issues, you can always place your hand on your thigh, or if you want to deepen the stretch, I want you to rotate the torso by using your knee as leverage. Good, rotate your torso back to center. Place your hand down, let's switch legs. Opposite leg comes forward. So straighten up your spine first. Take an inhale. As you exhale, come forward. Check in with your back leg. You want your back leg straight behind the knee rather than coming forward or coming back towards the wall behind you. Shoulders down. Now take an inhale, arms come down. Exhale, lift up. Keep your gaze neutral at first. Shoulders down your back. Soften through your hips. Let go of the tension. And now look up. And a little mini back bend if you choose. Inhale, and as you exhale, come back to neutral kneeling position. Roll your shoulders, and then come forward again with the hips. This time, allow the chest to come forward and tuck your chin. If you find yourself a little wobbly or a little unstable, just come down to potted palm and just focus on opening through your hip flexor, and even lengthening the spine by taking the crown of your head forward. You could do this without shoes on. Inhale, and as you exhale, shift the hips backwards. One more stretch. So take a breath in, and as you exhale this time, it's the rotation. So hips come forward, rotate, placing your hand down to the floor. You can stay here, you can open the hand towards the back wall. Making a nice long line from the heel of the hand all the way to the middle finger of the top hand, twist. you want to go a little deeper, or if you have shoulder trouble, like I mentioned, place your hand and just twist, using your body as leverage to deepen the twist. And then come back to neutral spine, rotating towards the knee. Place your hand down and rotate back. Awesome. So I'm gonna have you come forward with your feet and lie back down on your back. We're gonna do a standing, or a sitting forward, a knee sitting. Struggling a little bit with my words today. So we're gonna do a seated figure 4 stretch and then a same stretch on your back. Too much explanation, here we go. So cross one foot over, bring the heel of your hand in towards your tailbone and then lift your chest. Lift your heart, take your shoulders down your back. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring the tailbone forward a little bit so you go a little deeper. Walk the heel of the hand back, press the shoulders towards the floor. It's one of my faves. Flex your foot and see if you can take your knee away from your chest, making it as parallel as you can, straight across from the ankle. And then move your tailbone back just a little bit, walk your hands back, flex that foot, and then bring the foot towards the floor. So it's going to give you a stretch in your outer hip. Come on back up and switch directions. So push the foot towards the floor on the outer edge of your knee. And then come back up. Good job. Walk your hands forward, lie all the way back. And we're gonna bring your bottom leg in. If you wanna go a little further, lift up. And set your foot down. Release, uncross, hug both knees into your chest. Rock side to side. And we're just gonna work in reverse while we're already here. Cross the opposite leg over, flex your foot, and then hug the bottom leg in towards your chest. You want to go further, lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Getting a little resistance on the stretch. And setting your head back down. Place the feet on the floor. I'm going to have you come on up. Uncross the legs if you need to. Shoot your tailbone back a little bit so you have a little bit of space. Come on up. Foot is flexed, pressing the knee away from your heart. Shoulders are back and down, and collarbone is long. Walk the heel of your hand in and come forward. Deep breaths. Sole of the foot comes forward. Outer hip stretch. Come back to neutral, and then take it to the opposite direction. Pressing the knee towards the floor. I'm going to move back so you guys can see. Pressing the knee. Take a breath in, come back up, and release. Nice job, everyone. So I'm going to ask you to come up onto your knee. We're going to go for pigeon. If you guys haven't done this before, you can stay here and come forward to stretch the piriformis, or I'm going to ask you to come up, bending the front knee, extending your back leg behind you, and just settle into this hip stretch. Shoulders down your back, lift your chin just a little bit, so you're kind of lifting the front body and opening up through the back hip. So if you're new to this stretch, just stay here. And like I said, you can bend that back knee and lift your heart a little bit higher. If you want to go a little further in this stretch, come down, bringing your arms either to bent or full extension. This is one of my favorites. So if you can find relaxation in this stretch, it really, really is effective. And we're going to hold this position for 5 cycles of breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and out. Keeping that same rhythm of breath. Get yourself to a happy place. And on your next exhalation, bring your hands back towards your shoulders and gently lift out of the stretch, sinking onto the front hip and rotating the other foot forward. Nice job. So before we head into that other position, I want you to just windmill your knees. Good. Two more. All right, let's switch on to the other side. So you're gonna extend, remember the modification is both knees bent and you come forward towards the front knee, or if you can, rolling over onto your opposite hip, making sure the hips are aiming towards the floor. Move back so you guys can see just a little bit. So let's check in with the upper body. Shoulders down the back, chin lifts a little bit. Nice big stretch through the front body. And then if you want, you can come forward. Arms are all the way extended. I'm going to stay on my forearms this side. Stay here, 5 breaths. Last breath, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, bring your hands back towards your shoulders and lift the head and the heart. Come on out of it. Good job, everybody. Swing both your knees underneath you. We're going to go into child's pose, which is great for the hips. So you can either bring the toes together, or if you have a little bit of limitation through your knees, keep your tailbone in the air. I'm going to ask you to do a wide child's pose by taking your knees out, toes together. If that feels good for you. And mimic that same position with pigeon. Arms extended. If this doesn't feel good on your shoulders, just bend or bring your hands underneath your forehead. Soften through your hips and just breathe. Walk your hands back towards your head, and I'm going to ask you to extend one arm towards the side wall or the corner and press into your side. So you're going to feel a stretch down your lats. Still working through the hips. And then switch. Bend the opposite arm, extend towards the corner. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bring your hands both forward and then come back up to tabletop. Bring your front foot forward towards the camera, towards the screen, and this time swing your back leg forward and have you shift your weight. So you're going to feel a stretch through your stabilizers, your inner thighs. You don't have to go too far forward to feel this one. This is another one of my favorites. moving that positioning of that back leg really allows a good stretch through your inner thighs. And then shift your hips back. Kind of rotate the back foot, place your hands on the floor, bring your foot towards the screen and come down onto your forearms. Making sure your foot is flexed, press your tailbone backwards. And you can back off the intensity of the stretch by lifting your hips a little higher to the ceiling. If not, go as low as you feel comfortable, where you feel a stretch that you can hold that position for about 3 to 5 breaths. As I mentioned today, our focus is on hips. So please send me some feedback if there's a particular focus you'd like for next week's class. Come on up, place your hands on the floor. Take a moment before you bring the other foot in. Swing the opposite leg forward. We're gonna do that same series on the other side. So you're gonna take your back leg, sweep it under you, bring your hips forward. Relax your shoulders down your back. Shifting our weight backwards. Take your hands to the floor, swing the back foot so it's neutral. Take your toe, flex it, come onto your forearms and push the heels back, or the tailbone back. Lifting the heart, lifting the chest, bring your feet in. Just kind of shift your hips back and forth. What I'm going to ask you to do is we're going to do a low squat. This might not be accessible for everyone. So if it's not accessible for you, come to a butterfly stretch. So I'm going to ask you to take your feet out to the side, put your hands on your hips, and we're going to go into a deep squat. And if you can, take your hands to the floor. And if you want, drop your hips down. Nice deep squat. Keep your chest lifted. Hold. Kind of almost like frog pose, but just using your body weight to deepen the stretch. Nice low squat. You can even bring your hands to your heart. That helps. See how that shifts the dynamic. And then hands come down. And then I'm going to ask you to take your hands back and come out of it. Nice job. Bring the soles of your feet together. We are almost done, guys. So butterfly stretch. So pause for a moment, stack one vertebrae on top of the other. Focus on your posture, focus on your spine. So it's like pearls down a necklace with your back lift. So you can either stay there or come forward. You might need to walk your tailbone back just a little bit. And this is an opening of the space between each disc, a rounding over, a little bit of a low back stretch, forward flexion with the spine. And come on up. Nice job. Extend one leg, flexing the foot, cross the opposite leg, and hug the knee in towards your chest and rotate. Pressing the knee towards your chest, allow your shoulders to relax, deepen the twist. Make sure both your hips are rooted to the floor. Relax, uncross, take the opposite foot, cross it over, hug your knee in, rotate. Tall spine, using your back hand as leverage, deepen the twist. And release. So taking your extended leg, bend it, keeping the top leg crossed. This doesn't work for you. You can come back to your butterfly pose. So I'm just going to ask you to sit crisscross for a moment, gently pressing down on the knee and feeling the hips settle in. Finger pads out to potty palm, lift your spine. Take a breath in. As you exhale, fold forward. You might not have much range of motion, but allow your hips to root to the ground and breathe. After a moment or two, if you can deepen the stretch, come forward just a little bit more. Ooh, this is another one of my favorites. And then lift your heart. Uncross the legs. Shake them out just a little bit as you change positions, crossing over. This side, if you're like me, is a little bit tighter, so my knee is going to be up just a little bit more. So just settle in. Again, making sure your hip bones are rooted to the floor. Fingers come out to potty palm, chest lifts. Allow your top knee to just come forward towards the floor a little bit. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring the chest forward. Whew, a little tight for me today. Breathe through it. When you feel your body starting to tense, take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Fully expend all of that breath. And come on up. Nice job. Uncross the legs. We're going to finish up on our back. So slide the tailbone forward, hold on to your knees, and slowly allow your body to come back down. So we're going to mimic that same stretch on the floor. Cross one foot over the other, and then I want you to draw your knees in towards your chest. If you can hold on to your knees, that's great. If you can reach for your ankles, bring the ankles in towards your tailbone, that works too. Tailbone roots towards the floor. And relax. Uncross the feet. And we're going to go into just a happy baby right here. I'm not going to stay here long because this doesn't look very good on camera. So you're flexing your feet. You can hold on to your toes. You can hold on to the back of your thighs. You can go wide, drawing the knees in towards your chest. And hold the happy baby. And release it. You can stay there longer. You can pause it, cross the other foot over, and hug your toes or your knees in towards your chest. Release the feet or the knees, uncross the feet. Last exercise or last stretch, take your hands up over your head, knees are on the, feet are on the floor, drop your knees to the side. So stretch through the hip and come to stick up position or cactus. Squeezing through your glute, lifting through your hip to open up the hip flexor. And switch. And come back to neutral knees. Hug both knees in. You can just stay here and rock back and forth for a second or two. And when you're ready, come on up to a seated position. Nice job today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that quick stretch, which focused on opening up through our hips. And we'll see you guys next week. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.